Hey everybody, it's the Black Powder Beginner. Welcome to another episode of Percussion Discussions. And this is Range Day 10, Part 2. And if you saw Part 1, you'll know that I was mostly at the table. It wasn't really a range day because I got some new sights and I put them on. Well, that's another story. But I went to the range, was preparing to test them out at 50 yards. And the nipple came flying out of both of my Thompson centers, the White Mountain Carbine and the 50 caliber New Englander. And the reason for that is because of this. This is a metric nipple. Now, if you have worked with any type of tools, worked on a car, you know that there's two different types of, like, let's just say, well, there's wrenches and sockets. There's two different types. There's the standard, which is what America uses, and the metric, which is what everybody else uses. So, with that being said, they're similar, but they're just not quite the same. So, if you've ever worked on a car, let's just say, and you have a standard bolt that you want to remove, and you only have a metric socket, you could probably, if it's close enough, you could probably use it to take that bolt off. But it's not going to fit snug like it's supposed to, and you'll probably eat up the bolt in the process. Well, the same thing applies to these rifles, and that is was not paying attention to what I was doing, and I put a metric nipple into this standard, into these standard threads. And what it ended up doing was it ended up chewing up, it didn't really chew the threads up, but after a time, because it didn't happen immediately, after a time of me screwing in and unscrewing and screwing in and unscrewing and screwing in and unscrewing, the threads have become weak and misshapen, deformed. So it's not holding in this metric nipple anymore. And so when I went to go shoot the rifle for a range day 10, the nipple just came flying out after one shot because there's so much pressure inside the barrel. Okay, well, what do you do? Well, I talked to my mentor, Mr. Keith. I talked to Oki there at the range, and they were saying a helicoil would be the best way to go about it, a way to go about it. And quite honestly, I didn't know what a helicoil was. And so Mr. Keith explained it to me. And so, but it would take a machinist, a gunsmith that's familiar with it, or a machinist to put basically a collar inside of here so that I could keep the original size of nipple. And I said, well, I looked around and that costs money. Not only does that cost money, but that also takes time. You have to go someplace, you have to explain what's going on, this, that, and the other. I want to learn how to fix these types of things myself because I am a consummate do-it-yourselfer. I like to do things myself just so I can learn how to do them for future purposes. Well, I looked at on Track of the Wolf and I ordered and just received a tap for the quarter by 28 threads and the handle and an oversized nipple. And we're going to get a closer look at these, but today, range day 10 will consist of me showing you, and as I learn myself, either we're going to how to rethread these threads here and fit the oversized nipple, which is a 0.005 oversized inch oversized to the original size. And we're going to see if it works. And then I'm going to take it out to the range, and hopefully the nipple will stay where it's supposed to stay. But in the meantime, welcome to range day 10. hopefully, hopefully, we'll have success. This will be a successful range day 10 part 2. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, I am going to, well, before I unbox and unplastic everything, what I need to do is clean the threads. And what I'm going to do is, and there's no standard procedure, step 1, step 2. You kind of, I think for me, I just kind of have to feel it out. So I've got my Poppy's number 9 bore cleaner that I just got. And I'm going to just put a little bit of bore cleaner on a Q-tip and kind of run it down into the threads. And then I'm going to take a brush and kind of brush things out and then go from there. I'm going to soak it in this. And I'm just kind of taking it around and just kind of getting it in there really good. Because what I don't want to do is put the tap in and it runs into a lot of resistance. I overpressure it and I end up tearing things up even more than what they are. Then I'll have no choice but to get a helicoil, or what I figured out while I was looking for online that I didn't know is that this, and now that I look at it, I see it, this can be unscrewed. The whole breech can be unscrewed from this barrel. So it's just a line there, but it's probably going to take quite a bit of force to unscrew this. It's probably been together for since its life. And it's a older barrel. The serial numbers is in the 3000s, 3187. So it's got to be at least from the 90s, if not the 80s. So it's probably been together for quite some time, and I don't want to have to try to take this apart or get somebody to try to take it apart. So I'm just going to take my time with it. You guys are going to see the whole grueling process. And like I said, I'm just kind of working the Q-tip into there. And I just got well, let's see. I'm going to take another Q-tip through it. And we're just going to coat it with a little bit more bore cleaner. And I have some little pipe cleaners that I can use. But I want to make sure that the threads are as clear as possible. And I know it's not going to be perfect, but as close to perfect as I could possibly get it. Matter of fact, let me get my old man spectacles on. And no, that's a lot better. So I can get a good look in there. And I hope my ginormous head is not in the shot, but I'm just working it around, working the Q-tip in there. I'm kind of seeing different angles of the threads. Trying to make sure I'm still in the shot so you guys can see it. It's not anything amazing, but we pull out some pipe cleaner. And just kind of work that around. And this, this is one of these things where it's not word from an expert. Because if you guys have watched my channel, you know that I just started this 8 months ago, and I have basically no idea what I'm really doing. I'm just kind of, I just, just having, it seems like when it comes to black powder stuff, if you have some kind of basic mechanical knowledge and you're handy, you're mechanically inclined a little bit, then you can do fairly well. There's certain things that are more mathematical, and then there's this type of stuff which is not mathematical, is more hands on, and you just kind of work your way through it. Yeah, well, jeez, I really don't trust that. Oh, and maybe I should. That's really not doing anything. It's a lot of it's a lot of kind of crust in here. You're gonna see the back of my head while I reach for my bag of tools, but this is what I take to the range with me. It's just a bunch of odds and ends. I'm not too terribly organized. I don't think I have one small enough. I might out there somewhere on the table, but you know, we're just gonna. Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of grimy. Just gonna keep trying to fold over the pipe cleaner and see what comes out. And like I said, I'm not trying to rush this. This is gonna be a slower process because I don't want to mess up. So I think that's pretty okay. We'll see. Well, it's about as okay as it's gonna get. So at this point, so I'm gonna take out the tap. And it's not angled. It's because it's not for cutting new threads. It's just for restoring the threads that are already there. And hopefully this will solve my problem. Now, if it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to sit this rifle down until I until I get something else or get a way to fix it. Okay, so all right, so you turn it this way, sit it in, and it seems just like it. Yeah, it works exactly like a drill. And I probably could use a drill, but a drill would be a little bit too strong, I believe. But it works just like a drill. And so I think what's the most important is for me is to get the tap even. So we're gonna let's get the tap even, and I'm gonna turn it the wrong way first to kind of make sure that it will grab the existing threads. And okay, see, and it, yeah, see, when I'm doing it, it feels like it's not going in there like it's supposed to, and I don't want to power it. I don't want to put a lot of muscle behind it and tear something up. Okay, I heard it click, and I'm just, damn, it's just, okay. It feels like it's going, well, see, it's kind of, it'll feel like it's going down, and I really should have a vice for this. But if there's people out there like me who don't have a lot of tools, as far as tools like vices and workbenches and stuff like that, then you'll understand that you want to get things, you want to do things, but you really don't want to or can't or don't have the space to have a whole full decked out workbench. And I know it doesn't take a lot of space, but some people's homes are just dedicated to, regular living as far as, yeah, see, that's, I don't like that. The tap was spinning inside this handle. I need to, yeah, no, yeah, that's wrong. You kind of have to make sure You have to make sure that it's square and it. I think that got it this time. Yeah, yeah, that's it. I think the hardest part is getting it started because you don't want to cut them or rethread them the wrong way. But you'll know. Ooh, you'll know when it's in there like it's supposed to be in there because it'll be a lot more difficult to turn. Like right now. That's why I have to kind of adjust the handle to how my hand is. And like I said, if I had a workbench with a vise attached to it, I would be doing it on that. But I do not have a workbench. I do not have a vise. And I could probably fashion one of the empty rooms that I have and just buy a workbench and buy a vise and all that stuff. And I probably will. But I started here. I'm kind of set up, as you can see, with all the junk up here. Set up here, so I do things a lot. I do a lot of things freehand, where I'm holding it and then I'm just going with the flow. Oh yeah, it's becoming more difficult to turn, which which I believe is a good thing. So, and I'm trying to keep it as straight as possible. And I feel like it, it's I don't know. It's like because I'm doing it freehand. I think it's going in there crooked. I think it's going in there crooked. So now I've come to a turning point. It looks to me like it's going in there crooked, but it might not be. It might just be how I'm looking at it because I don't have a solid reference. So I can either continue to dig it down in there or I can back it out and start again. And I don't, my instincts are telling me to back it out and start over. But they're also telling me you're already halfway down. You might as well complete the turn, complete the pass, and then go from there. I'm going to keep turning it. I mean, I can't be afraid of messing up. You know what I probably should do? Which may be gotta back it out. I gotta back it out. It's like, maybe what I should have done was maybe put some oil down in there. Maybe just put a little bit of oil down in to facilitate an easier cut. Let's try that. Maybe that'll work. Put a couple drops of 3-in-1 oil on there. And then let's try not to do dumb stuff. And I'm just that looks better. That looks better. Oh, kind of. See, what you figure out is well, that you already know is that it's on an angle. So the breech is sitting like this. So, and I'm looking at it now, and the T-handle is this way, but it's also that way. And it was doing that when I backed it out before. So I don't know if it's supposed to do that, or am I just taking it in the wrong way? I think I'm tearing it up. Yeah, because that's well, like my brother says, in it to win it now. There's no coming back from it, so gonna keep going. Trying to keep it as straight as possible. And hopefully it doesn't feel right. And it just doesn't seem right either. it's taking a lot of pressure to the point where I think that's it, as far as I can take it. And you know, I think I might have torn this up completely now. I think that it might be over with. Yeah. Yeah, I completely mangled it. I don't think there's any saving it now. Damn. I guess this is a what not to do video more so than anything else. Well, kids, don't be like me. I mean, I guess the only way that you can really learn is to make mistakes. The problem is the stupid mistakes that you make, or that I make, are ones that I know better, and I just don't listen to myself. I mean, it's definitely not pretty. I will say that. I'm gonna actually see if it worked. And quite honestly, I don't think it did. I think I made it worse. I'm gonna run it down again. But I don't believe that I did it the right way. And I don't know how many threads it's supposed to have. Well, let's look and see. This is the oversized nipple. If I can get it out the package. I mean, I'm just so, I think I really messed up, so now I'm kind of like shaky now. I need to just take a deep breath and relax, but I just hate messing up. I hate to fail. And so, well, yeah, that's about as far as it's down is supposed to go. So this is the oversized nipple. Let's see if it actually goes down in there. Well, I bought a new nipple wrench, so let's use that too. Kind of a little bit on the rusty side. Anyway. I just turned it the wrong way to make sure that it was seat. I don't want to cross thread the threads that I've already beat up on. And it, okay, so, oh yeah, it's going in there stupid. Yeah, I messed it up. I messed it up. It was going in there crooked. I saw it going in there crooked, and I didn't. I thought I adjusted myself, and I didn't. Yeah, no, it's not right. I didn't do it right. Because it didn't feel like it was supposed to. That's why when you're doing this, it's good to have a solid base. Yeah, like what it'll do is it'll start off going like this, and then it'll slowly etch this way and start etching this way. And it's like It's like the die is trying to, the tap is trying to do it, and I don't know how to correct it. So I'm looking at it from how you guys are seeing it. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to go. I think we might actually have it now. I think. Yeah, that's it. But it may be too late. I may have done way more damage than I needed to, than I should have. Yeah, but that looks better. And this is what it is, people. You know, if you're new to this, and Mr. Keith tells me all the time, you know, don't get discouraged because things like this happen. But it's kind of not hard to. Yeah, that's the way it should be. If only I had a vice. If only. That's as far as it's gonna go. Now let's see if I can get it out of there. Yeah. And I'm gonna invest in a workbench and a vice. This is becoming ridiculous. I realize that I can't keep doing things like this. Well, it might be okay. It might be okay. Gonna run it again. But this time when I do, I have to look at it at a certain way. Yeah. Yeah. That's the way it needs to be. Okay, so I'm just kind of slowly backing it out. Hopefully I didn't bust it up too bad. Okay, now for the fun part. No, no, I don't think. I don't think this is gonna work. I mean, it's giving some resistance, but it's still turning. And then okay. It's all the way down. I don't see any threads showing. And we just might have got it done. Yeah. What I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna keep taking it out and putting it back in, and taking it out and putting it back in, and taking it out and putting it back in, because I know that's just gonna put more stress and strain on this 30, 40-year-old metal that already goes through enough strain trying to hold pressure in from explosions. So I think we have got it done. But we won't know for sure until we actually take it to the range, which I am slightly apprehensive about, but I believe that we may have gotten it, and I think I want to take this. I want to tighten this down just a little bit more. See if it'll go all. I mean, it looks like the base is at the bottom. That there's touching. Yeah. See, I can still turn it though. There. 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 Now that little quarter that little quarter turn. Well, now that we've fixed, I hope, now that we've fixed this, we can reassemble this and prepare for the range. I'll see you out there in a little bit.
This is still the new one?
This is the one that the nipple blew out last week. So I got the rethreading tool, and we're gonna see. It's got a .005 oversized to it. So let's see if it works. And that's what I was trying to show my father-in-law, like, because I told him about it, and he said, so that's why I'm doing this today. So, all right. Got that one out the way. So now I can actually focus on the sights.
Where are you aiming? Where are you aiming? The green? The bottom of the green? Oh, it's dangerous. I mean, I know you. I'm telling you, I've had so much bad experience. Oh, yeah. They don't have a whole gun. You got both of them. I'll take you. I want people to do that. How loud? Definitely don't notice.
I don't know where it's going. All right. Nothing.
You're above the target about 8 inches.
And when so how would I adjust the sight to account for that? Because this one's not adjustable, it's just there. So then I would have to do it myself, right? Because I mean, look. Yeah. All right. All right. Right.
Ceasefire and we'll pull target.
That don't make any sense.
Yeah, because now you were aiming there and you hit there.
Right. I was, and before I was aiming for the target, for the center. Yeah.
Well, you are standing and shooting.
God. Okay, so I've gotten myself situated at the bench with the CVA and loading. The first thing I wanted to point on is loading the CVA, since that's the first thing that I'm doing. You will see that loading the CVA is the easiest thing that I do when it comes to these muzzle loaders. As you can see right there, no effort really. It just went straight down. And this was the first shot with the CVA. And it doesn't make a difference. First shot, 10th shot, the CVA will load. Now, once you get to about the 8th, 9th, 10th shot, the CV, you do have to start putting a little bit of pressure on. But compared to the New Englander, very easy. You see the first shot here, and I'm on the bench, and what you can't really see is, for one thing, the bench numbers and where you hang the targets are off slightly to the left. So, and that's what I'm saying right now is, you can kind of see that the target is kind of off. Um, and I believe that kind of contributed to some of the shots, especially with the CVA. But also, what contributed to the shots is me getting situated on the bench. This will be the first time that I've ever used the bench, with the New Englander and with the CVA, and with the CVA being shorter, slightly shorter of barrel length. It's 24-inch barrel length compared to the New Englander's 26. It takes a bit of getting used to. So that shot was low. That shot was low. That shot was also low. Oh no, it wasn't. It was inside the black there. Um, I actually cut a few of the shots where I shot a couple that were low. Um, but most of the time, the CVA shot, I believe, right where it was supposed to. If you checked out my last video, Range Day 10 Part 1, and I was doing this, or yeah, Part 1, and I was doing the sights. I was showing you about the CVA sights and how I kind of banged up the barrel. But like I said, it was kicked off to the right a little bit. Well, I was shooting off to the right. So it kind of made sense. And what I really honestly think is the CVA is the best rifle that I have so far. Better than all the Thompson Centers, and the Zoli. It's kind of maybe a tie. I haven't done anything as far as sights or anything like that with the Zoli, but this CVA is a great rifle. And I was surprised at how well it shoots, how smoothly it shoots. The recoil is not nearly as bad with that shorter barrel. Um, and that once again is something that when you put it all together, what I learned is when you put it all together, the it's fairly difficult. And that was one of the things that one of the guys was saying at the range there is that if you're learning how to shoot and you're trying to shoot for as much accuracy as possible, the muzzle loader with iron sights maybe isn't the best. But another guy was saying that you just don't want to lose the magic. Shooting a muzzle loading rifle is fun. It's really fun, and it's very challenging to be accurate at any sort of distance when you're new to it. So what you'll see right here is me getting a little bit closer with the ring sight, rear ring sight, and the front blade sight. I got a little bit closer, and it works out quite well. Like I said, I'm gonna start focusing more on the CVA because of how well it shoots. I mean, I was able to kind of adjust my targeting and actually moved it closer to center. Whereas with the New Englander, it was a little bit more difficult. So, as you can see, I'm still kind of fussing with where my arm is and this and that. It's very awkward to me. The bench is very awkward to me when you're not used to it. And so once I finally got kind of settled and was trying to get myself sighted in, I took another shot and I did hit center black. Well, not center, but inside the black ring. So it's just a matter of trying to get your your mind, your body, and where you're positioned all together to actually make a good shot. Now that was one where it hit bottom right, right around the same spot that the other shot hit. But those shots, I was pretty happy with, considering that it's the first time me changing out sights. So then I got tired of the bench, and of course you can see that I went back to standing. And one of the guys also asked, why are you standing? Well, he actually suggested it, and that was one of the last audio clips that you hear from the earlier, that I am standing and it's hard to kind of control everything, but I feel more comfortable standing. I just feel more comfortable standing, especially shooting the CVA. So this is that's something like the sixth or seventh shot, and like I said, loaded easy, and quite a joy to shoot. So at the end of the day, it seems to me to be a pretty successful range day, considering that but pretty successful range day considering changing the shots and whatnot. And you can see the recoil on the New Englander is quite a bit more than on the CVA, and that makes a difference. That makes a difference. So with that being said, and here are the targets with the CVA on the left and the New Englander on the right here. And as you can see, the CVA shot primarily to the right. I did have a couple of triple shots where I hit in the same spot too here. And then I also have a couple down here. You see the New Englander, it did okay. It did all right, but it shot high most of the time. You can see one right here that kind of nicked the top of the paper. So with that being said, if you kind of sit them side by side, you be the judge. I mean, most of the shots that I put down the range with the CVA hit the target, and a vast majority of the shots that I put down the range with the New Englander were too high. But there you go. So there you have it. That was Range Day 10, Part 2. I hope you enjoyed watching it just as much as I enjoyed making it. And stay tuned. I will have Range Day 10, Part 3. Yes, this is a 3-part. At the end of Range Day, well, at the end of my time at the range, one of the guys there, I would call one of the advisors at the range, suggested that with the New Englander, because of how the sight was attached, that it might be changing the flight path of the bullet. And I'll get into that in the next video. But until then, thanks for watching.